As children enter elementary school, they are faced with a new environment and unfamiliar tasks to perform. When they do not understand concepts presented in the academic setting, they experience periodic feelings of failure and unhappiness. Children continuously struggling with a sense of failure develop negative feelings towards school. Once this pattern begins, these students become far more difficult to work with than the successful, confident learner who can enjoy the educational process. Successful experiences can develop positive feelings of accomplishment, high self-esteem, happiness, and a sense of belonging. The task of the educator, therefore, is to help create a happy child who has the courage to willingly open himself to learning. To achieve this receptive state, the experiences must occur frequently, be personal to the learner, and give the child a feeling of success. When encountering frequent successes, comfort and happiness develop, and learning no longer appears as a threatening process. A happy child is a child ready and willing to learn. Happiness is episodic, not a continuous condition. During the endless cycle, discontentment replaces happiness as each new unfulfilled need arises. The major role of an educator is to continually reassess the needs of the learners. By helping them satisfy unfulfilled needs, the teacher assists in creating an atmosphere of success and happiness, the desired setting for continuous learning. Using the lecture approach with young children makes need fulfillment difficult, for it lacks the most important ingredient in the learning process, participation of the learner.
Do you have a problem I can help with?
Yes.
What is your problem?
I don't remember the person who painted the Mona Lisa.
Oh, the artist who painted the Mona Lisa. Well, let's see, how can we solve that problem? Where could we find it? All right, Kelly.
Could we find it in the dictionary?
In the dictionary? We might, but I can think of a book that might be better. Valerie.
Storybook?
In a storybook, I think that would be a hard thing to find it in. David.
A telephone book.
Oh, I don't think so, because he's not alive. Yes, Mark?
The encyclopedia?
In the encyclopedia. Do you think we might find it there? I think so. Wyman, why don't you check and see if we can find it in the encyclopedia?
Children need involvement. Retention of knowledge is greatest when children investigate and discover for themselves.
I found it. Here it is. Oh, Leonardo da Vinci. He invented clocks at the time of the Pilgrims.
Education is enhanced by a rich variety of activities that are interesting and relevant to the child. Learning suddenly becomes more meaningful when experienced through tactile and visual means. Abstract values can be transformed into clear concepts through personal involvement. Investigation leading to self-discovery stimulates children to seek information. By allowing for flexibility and individualization, the child is not subjected to learning on a level that is too high or too low. While the learner is allowed freedom to manipulate and discover through a variety of activities, the teacher's role is to guide and direct the student, for each child has a right to successful mastery of the essential tools of our society, such as the ability to compute mathematics and read for information and enjoyment. Many concepts in math can become relevant quickly when investigated through cooking. The principles of conservation and measurement will no longer seem abstract. These children will probably reinforce the skills being learned in class by doing similar activities at home. Once interest is aroused, learning is inevitable. Teamwork is essential here, for reading and math abilities must be shared. Peer teaching can be successfully incorporated. There may be some mistakes made, but even mistakes can become meaningful learning experiences. Because Brian's hobbies are bird study and photography, his mother and father have arranged a family outing to a bird refuge. Brian is excited about recording his discoveries with his new camera.
Hey, look, Brian, there's a crane. I didn't know there were any out here.
Do you think we can take a picture of
Sure,
it?
we can try.
The more meaningful the activity, the greater chance of mentally retaining the data collected. This isolated experience will become even more exciting if Brian shares it with classmates and continues to investigate the subject.
How many of you have seen a crane? Oh, Kelly has, and Amy, and Brian has. Today we're going to have a story about a crane. Now I'd like for you to think and play a game with me. This is a thinking game. I'd like for you to close your eyes and imagine a great big crane.
A crane is very large, often larger than a house. It has a movable arm with a hook attached. It can pick up large objects such as cars or trucks.
Now open your eyes.
I saw a crane down at the lake where all the other birds were.
Brian, that's a different type of crane. The crane in our story is the mechanical type. But I think we might have some pictures in our library of the bird type of crane. Would you like to go see if you can find one?
Okay.
Words that have the same sound but different meanings can confuse the young child. Brian has a fixed image of a crane in his mind. His interest will be retained with successful investigation, and his linguistic skills will increase with comprehension of the two homonyms. Brian's contribution will give him the opportunity to feel important and accepted by his peers. The need to be accepted, loved, or admired must be recognized as legitimate needs affecting motivation. These needs must be fulfilled before the child will seek knowledge and understanding. The excitement of a field trip creates a stimulus for learning. Aroused by a new environment, the children will actively participate and seek information through investigation. Each child will perceive this experience in a unique way. Individual interpretation will add interest to classroom discussions and other follow-up activities. Retention of knowledge gained here will be high because the learning has become personal and meaningful. Children will assimilate the information acquired during this trip through a combination of the senses: sight, sound, smell, and touch. Later, they will transfer this new knowledge into the academic setting. As children apply it in the classroom, the educator will get some feedback about the child's level of comprehension. Supplemental information on the subject through other media will continue to expand the student's realm of knowledge.
It's a crane. So big close up.
Brian has discovered a crane. This will provide him with close observation of the bird. On a walking field trip with his class, Brian visits a nearby construction site to view a mechanical crane. Follow-up activities in art or creative writing will reinforce the new concepts he has encountered.
Today we'll have some fun remembering the animals we saw at the zoo. I think you'll enjoy the test that I have for you. It's a little animal quiz. First, you'll hear the sound of the animal. Then I'll show you a picture on the slide projector of the animal. And then you'll look at your paper, and after the right number, you'll circle the name of the animal. Kelly, will you get our lights, please?
The indefinite length of time a picture can be left on the screen makes a slide projector a valuable tool for learning and reviewing information gained by personal experience. Slides stimulate interest and convey information while entertaining the viewer.
Please look at your papers. Put your finger by your answer for number 1. Jimmy, what animal name did you circle?
The lion.
The lion? Oh, that's the correct answer. How How many circle the lion? Oh, great.
This teacher has discovered the wide multicultural background of the children and will utilize this resource for learning on a class picnic. Recognizing unique situations and capitalizing on them is an essential role of the educator.
Well, let's see what we have for lunch. I hope we learn lots of new words in different languages. Gabrielle, what did you bring?
I bought an apple, and in Spanish it is called manzana.
Manzana. Very good. Jason, what did you bring?
I brought an apple too, and in French it's called pomme.
Pomme? In what language?
French.
In French. Good.
In German, apple is apfel.
Apple? In what language?
In German.
Does somebody have a different type of fruit?
I bought a lemon, and in Spanish it's called a limon. I bought a banana, and in Italian it's called banano. In Chinese, banana is called hyungju.
Hongju?
You get a sound of the E.
E's in it? Hongju? Oh, let's try to say that, class.
Hyungju.
Good. You did such a fine job with foreign words today. When you get back to class after lunch, you can take turns listening to some stories in other languages on our tape recorder.
This is a story about some children who live in Mexico. This is where they live, and this is where you live.
Integrating a variety of activities for multicultural studies keeps interest at a peak. Because they are very adaptable, tape recorders and headsets are valuable tools in the classroom. They can be used for a small group, teacher-directed lesson, or independently by only one child.
Close your books and take your headsets off, please. Since you've all worked so hard learning about people from other countries, tomorrow we're going to have some guests who will perform some songs and dances for you from other countries.
Oh, really?
Okay, kids, they should be just about finished changing now. Robert? Oh, there you are.
Here we are.
Okay, we're going to tell you a little bit about the costumes here, and then I'm going to show you how the costumes are made. Okay, this costume is a Lauderke costume, and it comes from Croatia. You'll notice that the woman's hair is not showing. She usually covers all of her hair. And see how this does a little flat back here? The woman usually weaves pieces of wood into her hair so that this stands flat and sticks up like that. Okay, and this costume is from Baranya. I wore this to show you that women are not the only people who wear aprons. This is all hand embroidered as well as this, and I thought I'd show you how this is done. Here is a sleeve that I have started. See, so it'll be wrapped around my arm like that. Isn't that neat?
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Oh, it's so like a little piece like
Yeah, it
it's
is.
bossy. Yeah. It is bossy. The costume is smashed
Learning stems from personal investigation. A child who is taught without the opportunity to reinvent and experience is only performing verbal learning, not true understanding. Observation is merely the starting point for learning. It is the stimulus needed to create interest. An atmosphere that is colorful and exciting can encourage a child to investigate and actively participate in the learning process. This will produce a more rapid and meaningful understanding of the values and dimensions of our world.
Here we go. Everybody drop hands, let's clap to the music.